All right. It says this hangout air is live. Peace and power, family. Welcome to Tea Talk with the Sisterhood. Every Wednesday from 9 p.m. Hold on, let me make sure before I get this echo out. Hold on one second. Live. Peace and power. I knew that was getting ready to come. The daggone echo. I didn't mute the YouTube video. But we are live, family. Welcome to Tea Talk with the Sisters. We meet every Wednesday from 1 p.m. until I used to say until 2 p.m. But sometimes, when the sisters get together and we start, engaging with one another, the conversations or discourses will extend past 2 p.m. So I'll just say we meet every Wednesday from 1 p.m. until to discuss topics that are on the minds of the sisterhood. My name is Dr. Oya Ma'at, and I am the co-founder and president of Ed Anime Productions. And we are a company that creates educational materials for children. And right now we have a fantastic animated series entitled Meltrek, which is dedicated to exploring African history. I hate saying African American because we need to understand that we are Africans in America. So it explores African history in Africa and in America. And you can visit our website at animeproductions.com to purchase your copy. I have with me a panel of sisters that come every Wednesday, dedicated, highly motivated. I took you back, Sister Monica, didn't I? Yeah, dedicated, highly motivated, dedicated. I'm thinking about cadences from the military, but highly motivated and dedicated team of sisters who meet every Wednesday. I'm going to let them, these are extraordinary sisters. I'm not, I'm not pumping them up. I'll let them introduce themselves to you and what they do so you can understand that the power of this panel that's before you. So go ahead, Sister Riziki, introduce yourself to the audience, sis.
Well, peace, family. This is Riziki Zafira. As always, I am your favorite sacred sexpert. Hey, so welcome to today's discussion about sex. I am Riziki today, not Sharita. Sharita are the business topics. All right, so peace, family. Welcome to the show.
Peace, everybody. This is Monica. Everybody call me Mo. And I'm over an organization called Tri-City Visionaries, where we teach entrepreneurs, small business owners, nonprofit organizations on how to get government certifications and grants or anything you want to know to expand your business with the government. We also help to search for scholarships, not write them for you, but search for scholarships for college or help you study for any of the ACT, SAT, or ASVAB tested. So peace, everybody. Welcome to the show.
All right. So before we get started, we always pay homage to our ancestors. And because we are females, we pay homage to our ancestral lineage of warrior queens, who fought for the liberation of our people, because we understand that we are incarnations of them and we stand on their shoulders. Those are the words of Brother Ankh. We stand on the shoulders of the ancestors. And what he means by shoulders is that we stand on them. They are our foundation. Okay. They are our foundation. So we stand on their vision. We stand on their strength. We stand on their intellect. We stand on their shoulders. So we understand, all of the sisters on this panel understand that we not only represent ourselves, our mothers and the females in our family, but we understand that we are incarnations of and represent females prior to our existence. So I would like to call out the names of some of our female ancestors, our female warrior queens, or as Brother Wujaru and some of the other brothers would say, the suits. Because remember, in Africa, there were no kings and queens. Those are European terms. So in Africa, you would call them a Nasut or a Nasut Biti, a king of king. And we have to understand or overstand that king is an office and king is not male specific. It's not male specific. It is an office of position. And if you want to, challenge me on that, go ahead and read Nasut Biti by Brother Asar Imhotep, who breaks down the word Nasut Biti. So anyway, we want to lift up these warriors These warrior sisters, when I call their names, please respond with Ashe, Yasatiwa,
Ashe.
Hey.
and Zinga.
Ashe.
Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
Dorothy Knight.
Ashe.
Ida B. Wells.
Ashe.
B. Gaddy.
Ashe.
Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
Ashe.
Would you like to call the names of any other warriors?
Queen Amen Arenas.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Now, would you like to call the names of people in your direct lineage at this time?
Martha Jenkins.
Ashe.
Evelyn.
Forbes.
Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
Luella Forbes.
Ashe.
Evelina McFadden.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Myrtle Bailey.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Thelma Mott.
Ashe.
Ashe. Lucy Singleton.
Ashe.
And she just transitioned last week, and we just she became an ancestor last week, and we just had a ceremony for her a few days ago. So she was definitely fresh on my mind. Ashe, Ashe. So we have a powerful topic ahead of you all today. I wanted to ask, though, before we get started, are there any hot topics, sisters, that you want to briefly touch on? I know there was one thing that was on my mind, but I want to open it up to you guys. Are there any topics that are on your mind, hot topics that came across? Any hot topics for this week?
Not really for me. You know, I haven't really been heavy in the news like that. I've been focused on other things. I don't know about you, sis Monica. But no, I don't really have anything for hot topics.
All right.
No, I just want to congratulate USC women basketball Don Stanley national champion.
That's what's up.
They did that, and UNC basketball boys did their thing.
Oh, that's what's up.
That's awesome.
You said this was USC?
It's my USC. Don Stanley is the coach for USC, University of South Carolina women's basketball.
And they won the Okay, that's what's up. Congratulations to those sisters.
Black, African female coach, first time in the history of the school women's basketball winning the national champions. You know, she's awesome.
Fantastic. So,
I did want to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
No, well, I just wanted to give a big shout out. He's a friend I went to school with in Alaska, and he just ran for assemblyman. They had their vote yesterday, and there's not a lot of Black people in Alaska that are in like political seats. And so he's just had a lot of opportunity thrown his way, a lot of support, and we'll, find out the results today. And so I just wanted to give, again, a big shout out to Marcus Sanders for running for assemblyman in Anchorage, Alaska. And there's some things going on within the Black community up there. And as far as hot topics for me, I just want us to get more into our own kind of news. So, and just see how we can support each other in these political arenas. So that's just been mainly what I've been on this week.
Oh, that's hot. I wish the brother the best of luck. So when will we know anything? Like when?
Well, I know the voting was yesterday. He said that they would possibly find out last night or today. But I've been checking the news and trying to see if he won, because I'm like, man, that would just be really awesome. For him to win. He had a lot of votes, and I'll just leave it there. Yeah.
All right. Well, there was something that transpired, I want to say in Cleveland last week. The video went viral on Facebook. I probably could show you guys the video really quick. Let me see if I have it. But there was an incident, and you might hear me humming and while I'm looking for the video. I think that I have it here. beauty supply store chokes woman. Not that.
Oh man.
No, this is another video. I have it on my timeline.
Was it the nail salon one or the
it was the nail salon one.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible. Yes. And then the boyfriend came back, you know.
No, I didn't know that the boyfriend came back.
I gotta find out. The boy and the dude would not come from behind the counter.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't do that. Yeah, I bet you he wouldn't. So let me.
He was telling the women in there like, y'all stupid for being in here, y'all da da da. And one of the women was like, well, do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? I'm like, lady, what that got to do?
Here we go. Here we go. So let me, Monica.
That's crazy, y'all. I'm like, man, y'all, man.
So let me find. I'm trying to find a video on my timeline.
Okay, yeah, let me see.
I'm trying to find a video, but I got tagged in it. But basically, a sister, got into an altercation with another. I'm assuming sister. Here it is. Found it. Let me share my screen. Found it. Okay. Now this video is like 14 minutes, so I'm not gonna play all of it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not playing all of it. Here we go. So here's my Facebook page, and here's the video. Now, you see this guy, this girl, she had an altercation with another sister at a hair salon, at a nail salon. And hold on, let me cut the sound down. So look at this. So she got into it with another sister, and I believe that they just exchanged some words. And so he wanted her to leave and, or something. And look at what he's doing to this black woman, right? While everyone's standing around. Sister Razika, you see this, right? It's not just, you guys can see my screen, right?
Right.
Okay, so look at how they're treating this black woman in the presence of other black people. Okay.
Right.
They threw her down. You got one sister that's recording this, and she's talking a bunch of trash. And look at them. I mean, they threw her on the ground. She's trying to leave. They're holding her in the store against her will, right? All right. Now, when this is really kidnapping. I hope the sister press charges because they're not permitted. It's not like she stole something from them.
Right.
And,
right.
And they're, holding her until authorities come. This sister had some words with another sister. She said, I'm leaving. They called the police on her, and they're trying to hold her until the police arrive. So they were holding this sister. And look at this. Is this a brother right here? Let's go back a little bit. Is this a brother in the red? Please tell me it's not a brother in the red. Hold on. Come on, y'all. Tell me, is this a brother in the red? He's coming. And he picks, I think she drops something and he picked it off the ground. There we go. Her bag. Is that a brother?
Oh, yeah, sure is. And he ain't do nothing.
So you got a brother. Hold on. Let's pause it. Let's put his ass on blast. Hold on. Here we go.
Put that ass on blast.
Yeah, let's analyze this real quick.
Right.
So this sister's being attacked in the presence of other black people. They're just standing there. And one time in the video, okay, that's that. Okay. So the brother sees what's going on. Okay? He's not saying, hey man, come on, you holding this girl against her will, let her go. He did not step up. What he did was he handed her bag.
Right.
Go. But he didn't come to the defense of this sister. And that's a problem that I have with our current breed of black males.
Yeah.
I have an issue with that you see a sister being violated and you don't step up. And I'm not saying all men,
right.
Of course, there'd be a brother in the chat saying, Dr. Mayad is saying that no. But there are a lot of males who don't understand that their role is to protect the black woman and child. They don't understand their role. And so this is the type of stuff that you have. A brother's witnessing this stuff and he didn't intervene. He's just letting this Chinese guy push the girl. Look at him. Look at what's going on.
Yeah.
He really manhandled her. And let me see. And this is a girl. A girl is recording this. Look at this. I'm just going to skim through. Look at this. So they're trying to hold her until the police come as if she stole something, which she didn't. She just had some words with a customer. So, they're a little, here's a little tussle. And look at this.
He got her in a headlock.
Put her in the headlock. Look at this. And there is a man present. There's a male present. and he didn't come to the defense of this girl. Look at this. She tries to get away at one point to go out the back door. All right. He grabs her. Look at this. He grabs her. She's kicking like, get off of me. Get off of me. You know?
There was a point where he slapped her.
Yeah.
Because she called his wife or somebody the B word because the wife was like, you know, yelling at her, and he smacked her. I was like, don't be calling her. I'm like, oh, I had to stop watching. I was like, you know what? And yeah, like you said, nobody jumped in. I'm like, man, we some.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. I think this is the part that you're talking about, right? There it is.
Yes. Oh
here
my God.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Boom.
Yeah.
So this is my message to all the sisters who are watching this. Let me get out of this. This is on my Facebook page. As a matter of fact, let me download this video before Facebook takes it down, because you know they're notorious for taking down videos now. Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure that I get this video today. But let me stop sharing my screen. But this is what I want to say to the sisters who are under the sound of my voice right now. Stop spending your money with people who do not respect you, people who do not value you, people who don't support you. So my thing is, this video went viral. And do you think that the sisters stopped spending their money with the crew after this? No, they didn't. They went back the next day. First of all, the women and the sisters and brothers who were in the nail salon, they stayed instead of getting up and saying, you know what? You violated one of us, you violated all of us. See, that's the mentality that we need to have as a people. You know, right now, and see, that's now I totally understand why Dr. Amos Wilson constantly spoke about the ideology of individualism. We have really been inculcated with this individualistic mentality that we don't respond to things that do not directly affect us. When they directly affect us, when they directly affect us, then we want to respond. But you should be responding to things that don't directly affect you, because you know what? One day it could. One day that could be you in the nail salon getting your nails done, or in a store shopping with one of your girlfriends getting some hair, and then you get attacked by an Asian, and you would want somebody to come to your defense. But let me show you guys something else recently. This is just real quick because I just want to prove my point really, really quick, that Black women still, after seeing these videos, so you had the sister who was in a chokehold, and Misha's that was put in a chokehold by an employee at the Misha Beauty Supply Store. I believe this was down in North Carolina. So that video went viral, and that was at a beauty supply store. Then you had another sister who got physically violated by another Asian at a nail supply store. So when's the camaraderie as sisters to say, you know what, you touched one, you touched all, we're going to boycott, we're no longer going to patronize? No. You have sisters who are lining up. Hold on, let me show you this. I was very appalled when I saw this video yesterday. Very appalled.
Oh, you may be about to show the one I was going to, because I was just like, no.
Oh, no. I want to show the sisters this. I want to show the sisters this. Hold on, I'm getting ready to show the sisters this video. Okay. Let me bring it back a little bit. Okay, hold on, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen, and let me know, sis, if this is the same video that you're talking about. Are you talking about this right here, sis?
Nah, but
look at this. Look at this. Black women lining up outside of an Asian beauty supply store to buy hair. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you would think that watching these videos of your sister getting violated by the Asians would spark something in you to say, you know what? They don't respect us. They don't value us. They don't support us. So we're not shopping. Look at this line.
That's crazy.
Black women.
There's some hair that ain't yours.
Line up Line up.
Yo, that's crazy.
Look at this. Line up.
That's crazy. I will never. I don't even stand outside long lines in a club. I'm not about to. No, that's too much.
Yeah, like lined up. So you would think that seeing these videos of Black women getting attacked by Asians would deter the sisters from spending their money. Hell, I think the sisters started spending more goddamn money when they saw the videos, which is pathetic, Sister Riziki. So, you know, my message to Black women, and I'm gonna get off this kick because I know we have a show to do, and I'm gonna dip out after this. But I just wanted to say to Black women, you know, we got to do better. You know, we got to do better as sisters. We got to keep on building this sisterhood, you know, and elevating the minds of the sisters, elevating the consciousness of our sisters, because this is utterly ridiculous that we're getting attacked. We see these attacks on YouTube, on Facebook, but we still patronize the people who are disrespecting and violating us. So that was the hot topic for me. Like, I saw that video, it went viral a few days ago, and it came across my feed, and I wanted to share that with you. So another Black woman got attacked, you know, by an Asian, and you know, where's the sisterhood? You know, where are the sisters? Where are the sisters right now? You know where they are, Sister Riziki and Sister Monique and Sister Cheryl? They're at the nail salon. They're at the beauty supply store. You know, and a lot of people don't care for Tommy Soto. A lot of people don't care for him, but he made a good point in the video. He said, you know, why can't, you know, the Black women line up, you know, for things like better education? Why can't we line up for, you know, better education for our children? Line up for, you know, bank accounts for our children, or buying stocks for our children. We don't line up for that, but we will line up to buy synthetic hair.
Yeah.
We won't line up, you know, we won't line up for those things. You know, I mean, shit, Monica, you getting ready to have a daggone conference called the Financially Formed Conference. Let's see if a bunch of Black women line up around the corner for that.
Right.
I did find a guy who does some hair. I hope they come in reference to that conversation, because you know those ladies are still gonna buy that hair. But I did find a retailer, distributor. They say that a distributor, a Black distributor for hair. But that leads into our topic though, Dr. Maya. The guys say that hair is sexy. They want him with long hair, you know, the silky this and the silky that. So some girls go out of their way to please their man, to look a certain way.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, some, you know, hey, I also I believe in preference. There's nothing wrong with having preference, but I also think that too, when you kind of grow up to be trained that like one look is ugly, you know, like, you know, I also feel like that has an effect on it too. Like I said, preference is one thing, but a lot of these men want certain things because it's a fantasy of something else. You see what I'm saying? So therefore you're in love with the fantasy and not really the real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the real me don't have, you know, Indian hair. That's not the real me. So I mean, I don't know. It's a combination of both, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna put no weave in my hair to please no man. You gonna like me for who I am, and if I choose to get some extensions, okay, that's cool. But I ain't about to do it just because you say so. No, absolutely not.
Listen, the
with somebody's echo.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. That was me. I'm trying to cut it off. Okay, I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry. That was my video.
See me blank out, it's because that tornado just hit right in Lexington area, so they just hit the warning. So if you see me black out, that's what's going on.
Oh
wow! So there's a tornado down there in South Carolina right now.
Yeah, I think it's moved away from Georgia and it's in our area now.
Goodness, sis.
Yeah, it was raining real bad earlier.
Well, I'll be down. And how far are you from Sumter County, South Carolina?
It's 30 minutes, right there.
Okay, well, I'll be in Sumter this weekend because we had death in our family, So I'll definitely be down there. So Sister Monica, look out for my call. You know, look out for my calls.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'll be
talk with the sisters. Yeah.
All right. So let's go into the topic for today. I know that I really wanted to play. Remember Salt and Pepper had that song. Let's talk about
it, baby. Yeah.
Let's talk about you and me. So yes, today we are going to have an open conversation about sex. Oh, did I say that? Did I say that?
Yes, you did, girl.
Oh man, an open conversation about sex. Now, I do want to let folks know that this was all Sister Raziki.
Of course.
Yeah, you're right.
I gotta preface this, man, with that. This was all Sister Raziki.
Yeah, I had to make that known. It's okay. I'll take that. We need to talk about it because we don't. And this is why people cheat. This is why people, are confused about their relationships. This is why people have an orgasm. Some got erectile dysfunction. Or, we think we know what we're doing. We need to improve. So, hey, I think we should definitely have more sex positive environment so that we can get better at what it is,
Yeah, and you're right. I agree 100% with you. And I think on Facebook, I had put up, I said, I remember back in the 90s, there were billboards plastered all over the U.S. like teach your child, it's a version, teach your child that is not a dirty word. Well, we need to teach our children that even have saying the word sex. It's not a dirty word. In fact, sex is a beautiful thing when it's used wisely and timely. It's a beautiful thing. But I think what has happened with sex is that people have made it, people have perverted it, people have distorted it, and people have made it, an ugly thing, but I'm thinking sex in its purest form is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because we're talking about reproduction, healing, relaxation, bonding. These are the things that come to mind when I think about sex. So Raziki, go ahead and take it away. Do you have the flyer so you have your talking points in front of you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually pulling that up now. But before I start with the talking points, well, you know what? All right. I guess let's go down the road because there is a video I wanna show. And let me just. No, I'll wait. Okay.
Is it rated R or what? What is the rating?
No, it's not rated R. It's not rated. I said this was PG-13. So no, that's fine. All right. So the first topic of discussion is there romance without finance? And okay, so I've known many men to get offended because they feel that sexuality should not be tied into finance. They look at it as, well, is it like I'm buying her, and what men don't realize is a lot of women, or I don't want to say equate, but let's keep it real. Some of them equate finance to stability, to security. And it's hard for some of us to be turned on if we feel like you can't provide. Like, it's a turnoff for me to have to, be the provider or the soul, and then I got to come lay down with you and exert more of my energy because I've been at work all day. So in my opinion, finance can definitely have an effect on romance for sure. What about you ladies?
I definitely agree because for one, men are very uneasy when they aren't financially stable. There may be moments where you get them at a relax and they're okay, but mentally they just gone and they really don't. They may do what most people do, tear up. That's not taking sexual.
Yeah,
that's what they do. So they releasing all of that frustration and anger inside of you, and then you look again, you acting crazy. But
that's
when
true.
they're more, when they have other things, when things are working out well for them and they have it together, they're much more relaxed, they're much more comfortable, they're much more soothing.
Yeah, this is true.
The only thing they really have on their mind is really kind of pleasing you. So the way they touch you, is different. You know, you can really tell. And so sometimes I think if a woman is like, you know, you got to get your finances up, a lot of times she's saying, hey, you're not pleasing me properly. You know, you're not here. You know, your mind's not here. That's my little spiel on that one.
Well,
Dr. Mayat.
No, we can go ahead. We can pass the mic to Sister Cheryl, because I felt like I was hogging a little bit, but pass it to Sister Cheryl. I want to hear the sister's thoughts.
Well, my thoughts on it is, and this is going through, you know, I'm 46 now. So we're going to start back when you're in your 20s. In your 20s, you know, your little guy friend may have a little job or two, you know, and you're like, okay, well, this is good. But fast forwarding up to my 30s, I started running into a lot of brothers that was like, can you help a brother out? You know, and so that seems to have been the theme all the way into my 40s, guys. I'm like, what the hell happened to these guys in my 20s that had 2 and 3 jobs and that was, you know, trying to respect the woman and, oh, baby, you can't buy that. I got you. I got you. I got you. And I got used to that type of treatment in my 20s. And keep in mind, these were a lot of college guys and, you know, they were success driven, you know. And then when I got to them 30s, I don't know what happened. But all the way up until right now, I got the man that come and say, can you help a brother out, Cheryl? Can you help a brother out? Can you help a brother do the resume? Can you help a brother? I'm like, look, I can't help you unless you help yourself. So I need to do the resume. I need to go do the job for you. And all you do is collect the check. Is that where we at right now? But I just learned, and I'm being funny, but it's really sad. And it goes back to a discussion we had in some prior things that we did on this show, that they just don't know how to treat women now. It's to the point they don't understand you're supposed to be the provider. I'm not supposed to be the provider. You're looking at me like I'm your mom. I am not your mother. And then when you start doing stuff that, you know, you're like, okay, you're not going to do it, so I got to do it. Then they're getting mad at you. You know, like, you do, why you ain't my mama? Okay, but you're not working. You're not doing nothing.
So technically, kind of like I am your mama, because
there you go. Technically, I am your mom. But the one thing that I learned early on in my 30s that, and I know it's sad to say, but you get a guy, and I've done this one time. It only took one time. You get that help a brother out guy, and you help the brother out, and then he leave you and go to another sister with all the credentials that you helped him get. So, so am I speaking the truth? I'm trying to speak the truth today.
I didn't help the truth today.
I didn't help a brother out, and the brother leave me and go to another sister, you know. And with all of the stuff that all the qualifications, I got you a good job with the resume I did. You know, even helped you with your degree, not financially, but I did that homework, sisters, right? We sit back there and turn your research papers in, you know, while you sleep. So I get you to a point where you are the man and you leave me and go be with another female. So I learned very early on, I can't help a brother out. You need to come already help. You know, hopefully your mom helped you. Hopefully, you know what I mean? So it is very difficult when you don't have that equal mate that's doing exactly what you're doing and trying to go to that next level. Because like you said, Raziki, I look at you a little differently. You know, because I think we as women, a lot of us went through the help a brother out, and then you kind of diminish who you are because you don't want to seem too smart and make him seem like he's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you kind of get into that. There you go. You get into that helpless woman thing where you're like, oh, I can't figure this out. How do you spell dog? You know? And I'm exaggerating, but that's what a lot of us has done in the past, is kind of tone down who you are as a woman to make your man that you're with at that time feel more like a man. So I scratched all that right now, and I'm in my 40s. I'm 46. Like I said, if you don't come to me as a man, then it's nothing we need to talk about. All that little stuff is not cute no more. You know, when you come into me and you're not equipped to actually handle a woman, because I consider myself a woman.
That's right.
So, well,
so I need a man to come in and correlate with this woman. So you get your stuff together before you step to me.
And Sister Cheryl, you're just basically saying you want a compliment. That's it. You want a man that's going to compliment you. So you want, a brother that's coming, that got his ish together. Right. You know what I mean? And it's a difference. And I just want to, for the listening audience, I don't want them to think that we're trying to pump up this fairy tale image of what a man should be. No, we're simply saying that we need a help mate.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying?
Because he can work on the garbage truck as long as he has his stuff together. It's not the amount of money. It's how you're coming to me. You know what I mean? Exactly. If you're taking that trash out, if you're doing all the manly stuff that you're supposed to do. So it ain't even about the money. It's about your mentality.
Exactly. And I wanted to add that it's a difference between supporting your man and sunning your man. Sunning your man is doing everything for him that his mother should have did, teaching him everything he should. So, it's a difference. It's a difference between sunning your man and supporting your man. Big difference. Supporting your man is, okay, baby, he's coming to you. He has a vision. He has the self-determination. He has the self-means. Notice I say self-determination, the self-mean. He has the ability, the self-ability to carry out this vision. And then your job is to say, okay, baby, I support that. You get what I'm saying? I support your vision. So it's a difference between supporting your man and sunning your man. And I find that there are a lot of, brothers that come to the table and kind of got to sun them. You know what I mean? Like my cousin and I, we were building about this the other day. She was saying she got with a guy and he didn't know to take the trash out. She said he come over to the apartment, the trash is full, and he doesn't go in, he doesn't grab the trash and say, well, baby, let me run this out. You get what I'm saying? Let me run this out, to the garbage for you. He just, start adding more trash to the daggone trash. Lawn, I had another cousin who laid up with a guy. I would go over there to see her, and her lawn would need to be mowed, and I'm like, well, how is it that you got a dude that's laying in your house day in and day out, but your grass isn't cut? Or a dude that's laying in the house and he can't fix any goddamn thing. You got to call 50 million other guys. You got to call 50 million other guys to get your to get your toilet seat changed, or to fix a cabinet that may have broken, or to fix a damn outlet. You get what I'm saying? Or to come put a damn spare tire on your car. Like, it's ridiculous. And I say that, sisters, and I used to get frustrated with our brothers, but I realized that a lot of these brothers, they don't know. They really don't know. When you talk to them about their upbringing, they don't know. No one clearly defined what manhood looks like, what masculinity is, and what manhood is. So they don't know. So they get with us and they're still trying to figure it out, and vice versa. Some of us, I blame some of the sisters, because some of us couldn't identify a man if he was standing in front of our face. You know what I mean? Some of us can't even, we can't even identify a man. So it kind of goes, both ways. We as sisters need to be trained on what manhood looks like and what masculinity looks like. And our men need to be properly trained up in manhood and in masculinity. I think right now there's this war going on between the sexes because we don't know our roles. Our roles haven't been clearly defined for us. You know what I mean? It haven't clearly been defined for us, and we haven't been trained up, in those roles. So now I understand completely at the age of 36 why the rites of passage for men and why the rites of passage for women was very important and sacred in our African communities.
Absolutely.
And you know what? That's interesting that you say. I mean, because we did talk about the rites of passage and all that in a previous show, but I noticed just dating certain men over the years, if they had a mom and a dad in the house, they treated me a little differently. They did know to take the trash out, and not to say women don't teach their sons certain things, but a lot of women, and I know this with some of my girlfriends, you treat the little boys, and as they get older, you treat them real touchy, and like, okay, no, he's not gonna do that, but you're real hard on the girls.
Yeah.
You're raising females like men, and you're raising the men like women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the chores set forth for the woman and telling her, go clean the kitchen, go cook, go do this, go do that. Meanwhile, your son is laying on the couch playing video games all day.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's not taking the trash out. He's not cutting the yard. He's not doing nothing. He's not even coming out there to help you bring the grocery in. So then these are the men that we got in our lives that think if you say, are you going to take this trash out? You using me. I ain't gonna be coming over here taking the trash out.
Right.
And I laugh, y'all, but a guy really told me that in my 20s. Okay.
And see, those things is what leads to dysfunctional relationships and dysfunctional sexual exchange and relationships as well, when we're not cultivating like our divine masculine and our divine feminine. And I say like masculine, there's masculinity and femininity, and then like divine masculinity and femininity. Like to me, it's a little bit of a difference, because you can have, it's one thing to function as something, and then it's something different to like be that something. You know what I mean? You don't have to try to do it. It just comes it's just natural for you. And for me, like, that's my definition of divine feminine and divine masculine. And so, like, when we have people coming together and they're not in these states, this is what leads to like these dysfunctions in relationship and, you know what I mean, sexual exchange. And when you guys were talking about children, when you ladies were talking about children, I guess we can kind of go into the next topic, like what is age appropriate? At what age is fine to talk to your child about sex, and like how much sugarcoating do you do? Do you use real words, vagina, penis, you may get wet, you may get hard, like your semen ejaculates, and how do y'all feel about that?
I used to think teenage years prior to me actually coming up. One time I was at a dance studio, and all of the adults, it's multi-age groups and I think the parents were actually practicing at the time, and it was two young girls, and the young girls, I was like, where are these kids? It's kind of quiet. And I went and looked. I said, oh, wait a minute. At that moment, these girls, I think the girls was 3 and 4. At that moment, I said, wow, I can no longer think that you have to wait to at least have some type of conversation in reference to body parts, certain touches, certain, certain interactions, whether it's with a child, an adult, whether it's gender related or whatever. Some type of exposure year after year, even preschool, middle school, elementary, high school. I think as the level of information should probably advance, but I think as the child gains some type of understanding or can talk, that they should at least be exposed to the private areas.
Yeah, and before the show, Dr. Marriott and I were talking about certain things, and this is how we got in the conversation about, going back to these rites of passages and initiations. Like, there were certain ages where we developed our boys so that when they became age ready, that we felt based on culture, whatever, for sex, and then on the other side, you have women or the girls in the community being raised to a, you know, good level, and they're ready for sex, like us as parents or as a family, like we did choose or have a say so in who our child would have their first sexual experience with. And we understood that it was definitely something that needed to be taught, because I think that women, especially more so women, are held at some kind of weird degree to where we can't, like, you know, if we freaky, you know, we a hoe, you know what I mean? Or, you know, we gotta be, you know, suppressed in our sexuality. And it's just a lot of dysfunction there too. And it's really important that men and women have a healthy perspective on their own sexuality and the sexuality of each other. So I don't know what age different tribes would start this training around, but it definitely was like a process, like you said, that was over some years. It's not like, okay, we're going to sit down and have this one talk and that's it. No, it's levels to this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's absolutely levels. It's absolutely levels. And I'm glad that you said that. Like you said, when a woman, you know, when she's, you know, if she does get a little loose, you know, a guy's looking at you like, oh my goodness, when you unleash the beast, you know. But goodness, I think I lost my train of thought, Sister Riziki. I was getting ready to piggyback off of something you just said. But go ahead and continue. I think I lost my train of thought. Trying to multitask. I'm a horrible multitasker.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
When kids are, once now, especially in these last few years, once those kids get put in public environments without your supervision, they're being exposed to other kids' experiences. And we already know what happens with most of our kids. And so at that time, you know, you got to pay attention to behavior and then how they're reacting with certain things so that you can decide, you know, what level of exposure that you're communicating with that child. Because rest assured, you know, a lot of parents are very naive to the fact and think that their kids aren't exposed to.
Man, some looking at porn.
Yes, you know, yes. And you would be surprised. And they're exposed. If they're not getting it from the home front, then some at school, you know, some of the child, whatever, you know, they're coming across the information. I know here in Lexington, in elementary, my nephew, well, he's in the second grade. I think last year, the first grade, they was exposed to some sexual education because he wanted to have a conversation about it. And my niece, she was in a fit when she didn't go to first grade here in Carolina. She was in Louisiana. So when my nephew brought it up, and my niece was like, she was 10 and he was 7. And he was like, what you for? We talked about it in school, you know? Right. And she was like, I didn't have that conversation. But they went to 2 different public schools in 2 different states at that level.
Yeah. It's definitely it can be a touchy subject, but I don't know. For me, maybe because I have not birthed any children on my own yet. But I just remember when I was a child and how I saw a porno at 11. And you know, when you were little and you know, you had the nasty channels and you turn to the station, but the little fuzzy thing, and you be trying to peek in between to see if you can see a little nipple or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So I really, I know what I'm huh? You turn on that channel, you like, yes.
I mean, but it's so true, man.
What'd you say, sis?
Go ahead, Sister Monica.
I couldn't watch. I said back in the day, it was, you know, we didn't have cable, so it was the ABC Channel 3 at 12 o'clock. And we already knew when they told the girls you had to leave, we already knew what they was about to be watching.
Right.
But these days, you ain't even gotta wait till midnight hour. If you got cable, they're on certain channels.
Yeah. Or on your cell phone. Or on your cell phone. You could just Google it.
Yeah.
You could just Google it. I remember my son, I caught him when he was 12. He's 17 now. And I looked up, I needed his phone for something, and I went to Google, and I typed in PO. I wasn't typing porn in. It was something I wanted to Google on the phone. And I typed in PO, and Google, of course, like finished it up, and it said porn. And so, you know, I said, you Google porn? And he said, yeah. And I said, for what? And he's like, well, you know, you talk to us about it so much. He said, I wanted to know what it actually was. And so I bought it. Wait a minute, it gets deeper. So I said, oh, okay. So I went ahead. I said, well, I want to see what sites you were visiting. So I went ahead and I let Google finish it, and I hit search. And the first site came up. It said Pornhub.com. I think it's Pornhub or something.
Yeah.
And it was already in purple. So that meant that he visited.
Watched it, right?
He went there. So I said, okay, you click on this link. So I'm going to click on this link too, because I want to see what you were watching. Right. So I clicked on the link, and then it came up. I saw all these different categories, right? So I said, hold up, y'all. I'm trying not to laugh. So I said, well, what category? And I was trying to keep a straight face, when I was asking the questions. I said, so what category were you watching? And he broke down crying, and he said, he broke down crying in front of me. I said, now what category were you watching? And of course I had to, I was in my mommy role, you know what I mean? So Sister Monica had to mute her mic. So look, I was turning. Okay. So I had to mute, keep my mommy face on. And so I was like, so what category were you watching? And he scrolled down, he said, big black asses. I died inside. So
that's hilarious.
I died inside, and we clicked on the category, and he showed me the videos, and it was all these black women with these big butts and everything. And so then, of course, I had to sit down and talk to him about, that's when we actually had our first conversation, about sex. But I think that it shouldn't get to that point. I've always had conversations, with my babies and with kids in my family about, what sex is, and, to take your time. And I talk to them about, STDs and stuff like that. But I think that as parents, we got to sit down. I'm just trying to figure out what is the right age or the appropriate age to start having candid conversations with your children about sex, because it shouldn't have gotten to the point where he was 12 and wanted to actually Google the porn. I feel like maybe I did something wrong, or it was something I didn't do, prior to that. I don't know what it was.
I'll say this. As early as children start to become in tune with their bodies, like, even when the little boy wakes up with an erection, you see what I'm saying? He's going to want to know what it is. It's a gradual talk, because when certain parts of our body start to develop, we will start to feel sensation. And I speak from experience, me being a little girl. I remember I was interested in touching myself. And my mom had this red book, I forgot the title, but it talked about masturbation. So I'm like 9, 10 years old reading about masturbation, because there's these feelings in my body that I'm not understanding what's going on. And because, my mother in the military, of course, and I understand, she may think, the appropriate age to talk to me about everything is 13, 14 years old, but my body is feeling stuff right now. And I just feel that talk is gradual. So when you wake up in the morning, your penis is going to be erect, and this is why it happens. And when you get older, this happens for a reason. But as we go along, we'll talk. Even with the daughters, hey, listen, sometimes you may feel a pulsing in your vagina. You know what I mean? And this is what's developing. This is what's going on. This is a sexual organ. You came through me through this organ because me and your father had an arrangement, or however you want to say it, but it's a gradual conversation. And sometimes we may too long to have like this one conversation and think that children want to get this whole thing in one conversation. And I've been learning about sex for a whole year in my Tantra training. What I learned as a child, I would have knew it, if I would have knew now what I knew then, I would have made way more wiser decisions in who I slept with, how, you know, because understanding, like, for starting when I was, you know, having sex, like in my late teens, early 20s, and they had that song, beat the coochie up. You know, I'm thinking beating it up is like, yeah, like, you know, that's what, but not realizing you're pounding my vagina to where it's like losing its sensation. So I'm realizing that a lot of women aren't even experiencing, you know, the capacity of sensation in their vagina, because the cool thing was to get the coochie beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta beat it up all the time. And when young people, when their first exposure to sex is through the movies or porn, it's an unhealthy introduction. So now, like taking your story, Dr. Mayat, so had you not have intervened, your son's preference could have been just, you know what, I'm only going for the girls with the big black asses. Like, that's it. I don't want a medium black ass. I don't want a small petite black ass. I just want a big black ass, because that's the first introduction to sex that I saw. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is where the programming starts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you mentioned this, sis, that it is where the programming starts. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my closest friends. She's in the chat room. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, the sis. But we were having a conversation earlier about sexual deviance and sexual deviance and sexual dysfunction. And it just seems like, you know, and I remember my dad was actually had this conversation with him also, that wherever you get your first high, you know, that first good feeling, that's where you go.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's what you become, you know, attracted to, you know. So I know that you were going to talk about, you wanted to touch on sexual dysfunction and stuff like that. But, there are people who have been touched, okay, as children. And as a result, sex is either unpleasurable for them, or they opted not to deal with whatever gender sexually violated them. I know some women who have been sexually violated by men and who've opted not to deal with men because of that sexual violation. I also know women who have been sexually violated by men, and in turn they became very promiscuous, you know. And on the flip side, I know men who were sexually violated by women at young ages, who in turn became very promiscuous. And I know men who are sexually violated by other men and who are now living a homosexual lifestyle. So, you know, we have to be very, very, very careful. Like you said, this is where the programming starts. What feels good, what doesn't feel good. You get what I'm saying? This is where the programming starts. So I agree 100% with you, Sister Riziki. 100% with you.
Yeah, and to you said something important there too about, you know, the whole sexual dysfunction, and everything what you said also leads to actual erectile dysfunction, or, you know, a woman may not be able to be orgasmic, you know. So again, like, her just not being able to experience that full pleasure, you know, it is bad. But then also religion does the same thing. Religion had a lot to do with making women feel guilty about the amount of sexual pleasure that they want, or how they want their sexual pleasure, you know. And I think that that's an injustice, because, you know, hey, men, you know, it's just so, you know, patriarchal in a sense. Like, everything has been patriarchal. And oh, you know what? This brings me to my next point. Well, wait, did anybody have anything else to say about what were we talking about? The age appropriate.
No, I was gonna say my nephew. I have a lot of stories about my nephew in sex, because he's just so inquisitive. He's he tells us, he said, you know, Dad, he said, Daddy, I sometimes I have a big one like you. When I go to the bathroom, it'd be like this in the morning, and then when I'm done going to the bathroom, it go boop.
Oh my God.
So my brother looks at us. I was like, don't look at me.
Oh my God. He said,
so he wanted to know why, in the morning, he's up and then it goes away. Like, why I can't keep it, that way. So you have to explain it and, be agreeing to the fact we really have to make sure, like I said, the advancement of what we're saying and explaining to them, the body parts and its functions is important. And that we're doing it in a very professional way. And definitely, when you spoke in reference to how some people are exposed to sex, when we had our conference call and conversation about it, that's one of the things I brought out, because one of the persons, especially when you mentioned the church thing, one of the persons was like, well, I just want to pray and ask God to take away my desires. And I said, well, you keep asking for desires to get taken away, and when you do get married and you do your thing, you're going to have to deal with the side chick, because your desires is gone. What you going to do?
Right.
He's gonna be boring. He's gonna be like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
Professionalism and knowing how to approach the conversation and making sure that you're in conversations like where it's not taboo.
Yeah.
But healthy, and so exposing. So anybody out there who have young girls or nieces and nephews or cousins, at some point you're going to have to start getting those conversations, because if not, that's why we're running into relationship issues later. A lot of females that I've gone, especially when I was in the Army, come across females who's having issues with their husbands. One, because they was dealing with childhood issues and how they were approached with sex, and then two, like you said, Riziki, in reference to that beat 'em up thing. Now that they're married and they have a relationship, they are yearning for the whole, cuddle me, foreplay me, get me, just have that romantic time, and they're not getting that because only thing they want to do is beat it up. Who wants to be beat up? Well, I mean, there's moments. Now, there's moments you want to get rough. I don't know, maybe just moments.
I mean, sometimes you can get a little rough. That's cool, but just all the time, come on.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I totally.
But then too. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, my last thing I was gonna say, and I think that's where the teen girls, when they end up being exposed or getting caught up, and even we won't go teen. Let's talk about the young ladies who get married at 18 and 19 years old, maybe early 20-year-old, and they, their husbands are still in that type of mentality, or maybe the most, back in the day, the romantic songs was, bam, you done, right? Now you talking about leave me like a, all those songs that are just rough, and so the girl is not being pleasurable. She haven't been talked about it. Now she have to deal with it. Now she's emotionally distorted, and her sexual experience is terrible. Yes,
yeah, yep, that's true, sis. And I think that was a good segue about how to express your needs and desires in a way that's non-offensive, or where it could be easily embraced. And one thing that I've noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, sisters or panel room, but it seems that women, I think we're a little bit more receptive to learn how to improve versus men, because I know when I do a lot of my sacred sexual workshops or retreats, it's majority women there. Some men do come, some there, there are quite a few men now learning, Tantric, but it's like for some reason men are not thinking that they need to improve their sexual or sensual skills, and that kind of worries me. Because men expect us to not cheat, and let's just be honest about the whole cheating thing. I don't agree that it's right, but just like men sometimes cheat because they want variety or sex is boring with their wife, women, to us, y'all could be boring too. Like, I don't know why there's a lot of men who just think it's impossible for women to get bored with sex, either because of the size of their penis or it's just them. So they feel no need to want to improve, how they relate to us sexually and sensually. And so then when we try to express ourselves, they're offended. Like, we're trying to down them, and it's not that. It's like we just want to connect better. I just want to I want to be pleased. I want to have a full vaginal orgasm instead of just a clitoral orgasm, or, you know, whatever. So let's discuss that. Like, have y'all had experience with that? I know I have. Some men got offended. I was just like, well, listen, you know, hey, I'm not trying to be mean, because there's some, and I keep it real now. I'm gonna keep it PG-13, but there's some men, due to religious reasons, who don't believe in, you know, in the downtown shopping area. And I'm just like, listen, I don't know what to, but I'm not going to be able to deal with that, you know, and I don't feel guilty about it. I used to feel guilty, but I'm sorry, if you don't do that, that's not going to work. I'm a very sexual person. And if we're going to be monogamous, we need to be like pleasing each other on every level as possible. So, man, listen, I'll be like, well, hey, I don't want to waste your time. Your time is valuable. I'm not going to waste yours. So, you know, we're chuck the deuces, and that's it.
So what's the question, sis? Because, you know, I'm in here, you know what I'm doing, grading papers, but I just couldn't walk away from the conversation. So the
question is, you know, relaying your wants and needs sexually without offending people.
I think so, but I think that the person has to be open to what you want.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you get what I'm saying? Because you may try to convey your sexual desires as non-confrontational, non-offensive as possible. But if the person isn't open, you know, to your wants or open to your ideas, it still won't work. You get what I'm saying? That person has to be open to you and wanting to learn you. Like, for example, I just finished counseling 2 of my cousins, and he will probably kill me if I'm not going to, you know, give you guys his name, but both of them were virgins. And he just got with a girl. He's 24, she's 24. They're getting engaged. They're about to move in together. They just recently started having sex. They got their parents' blessings, actually, well, right after they did it. So they did it first and then told their parents that they did it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, she was complaining about him. Like, we were at the dinner table, just the 3 of us talking, and, you know, I'm very, you know, open with my family members. So we were at the dinner table talking last week, and she was complaining about how he just wants to like penetrate her and just go in, you know, rough. And what I was explaining to him is, this girl is a virgin. You get what I'm saying? And you're going inside of her body. You need to take your time.
Yeah.
You got to take your time. And I told him, imagine if somebody stuck something in his butt that was 6, 7, 8 inches. I mean, you got to take your time and not treat her like she's a thing. This is her womb.
Yeah, exactly.
Or penetrating. You know what I mean? So I was telling him he has to learn her body. She has to learn his body. And so that was like a whole like long drawn out conversation. But the point that I'm trying to make is this, that the person has to be open to your ideas. They have to be open to your desires. If they're not open, you can say it as nice, you know, as non-offensively, non-confrontational, and it'll still be an issue if that person is not open to wanting to satisfy you.
Yeah, yeah. This is true. This is true. Yeah, so but again, going back to like everything you said is valid, and this is why we just got to get more into teaching our youth properly about, you know, sex, so that when we become adults, you know, we don't have these particular problems. Like, we have a certain appreciation for the womb, and even us women having a certain appreciation, not just, you know, for the man in general, but even his sexual organ. You know, these things are powerful. They create life. And when you were talking about, you know, a man entering the womb, and we deal with what we call a negative womb imprint. And so it's like taking a look at, yes, your first experiences with your womb, all the men who's entered your womb, and really looking like, okay, you know, how was this person's vibration? And, you know, how much can I see, you know, myself in him? Because you hear that saying, we're all reflections of each other. And when we engage in sex, which I guess kind of rolls into the next point, is the spirituality of it. You're literally taking on like downloads from this person's DNA and from their energy. You know what I'm saying? And when you're having all these deposits in your body, both men and women, because I guess since men think they don't have a way that we enter them, that, you know, they don't have to be as mindful as to how many women they sleep with. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's definitely not true. And I applaud people who are open and honest enough to have open or polyamorous relationships. But, you know, hey, if these people you dealing with, you ain't about to be going out and dealing with these people and bringing that vibration back to me. No, absolutely not. And all the self work I did, no, absolutely not. So yeah, we really got to have a higher respect for, and I call it a ritual. Like, to me, sex is a ritual, especially if it's done consciously. And I wanted to show this video. This is a video I was talking about, and this is from a documentary that's about to come out, because I remember too, Dr. Mayat, we talked a little bit about you know, sex magic and manifesting with sex and the female orgasm and everything. So I want to show this video. It was made by our relatives in Rwanda. So hold on one second, and it's like 3 to 5 minutes long. 1 second, let me share my screen. Okay, where'd it go? Okay, right here. Oh no, y'all can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
umukozi w'imibonano n'umugabo nangwa n'umugore mugasuhuza utamunyajije n'ibintu umugore bigira ikibazo cyangwa umugabo akavuga simurongoye neza.
Kino Kristo haraka nkomeze nk'akabuto kabuto niho havamo zaga iyi misuri ntabwo ikubita iyi ngiyi wowe ukubita ahangaha ndogo voilà.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there. So did y'all get the gist of what they were saying in this video?
I heard you talk about the clitoris. Go ahead, Sister Cheryl. You go ahead.
You go on, because that's what I was.
Yeah, I heard them mention the clitoris, and they said it is the female. He said, you know, you open the lips, the clitoris, that's where the water comes. And he said something about, you know, the female feet in the river. So if you could break down that.
Yeah, so what it is that when I was talking about how religion kind of suppresses a woman's sexuality, right? So our ancient cultures taught that the female sexuality is what actually feeds the planet. It feeds the earth. It feeds the waters, right? So this is saying when a woman is vibrating on this planet and she's at her highest pleasurable state, abundance comes, peace comes. You know what I mean? The rivers flood with her waters. So this is them spiritually connecting the sacredness of sex to the wellness of the people and of the planet. So again, this is why our men were taught how to properly, you know, handle women, them being good providers, protectors, and leaders and mates. Because again, a woman will feel the most ultimate pleasure when she's sexually engaging with a man that makes her feel safe, that makes her feel secure, that, you know, makes her feel loved. The same thing for a man. You know, he's going to engage his highest sense of sexual pleasure and be more open and vulnerable and more willing to connect when he feels, you know, nurtured, supported, you know, all those things from a woman. And so that's what that video in a nutshell was dealing with, like really showing how their culture promotes a healthy sexuality for the woman, because again, they understand the importance of, you know, her pleasure and the female orgasm. So it's an energetic relation. So that's mainly what that video was talking about. And it will be a documentary. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well.
Oh, fantastic. When the documentary comes out, you know, keep us posted on that. I'm curious to see how they make the connection with sex and spirituality. I remember you and I were building on that offline. And I said, I never looked at sex as spiritual.
Oh,
you know, I looked at sex as remember, I said this in the beginning of the show, that when I view sex, the first thing I think about is reproduction. Second thing I think about is relaxation. And then I think about, you know, healing. I think about relaxation. I think about healing. I think about, it was one more thing, Sister Riziki, I said.
You don't think that's spiritual, sis? You don't think if sex heals you and relaxes you, what does that do for your spirit?
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? True. And even on like a metaphysical level, or even when you understand the chemical reactions in the brain that happens when a person is in the state of orgasm, you know, the dopamine and all that pleasure feeling stuff like you feel from a drug, those same chemicals are running through your brain when you're engaged in sexual activity in orgasm. Right. So even when we deal with sex on a spiritual level, for instance, when a man and woman have sex, and he ejaculates and she orgasms, rather it's at the same time, or he ejaculates and she doesn't come, you produce a whole nother human being. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, the act of sex produces a whole other human being. And so for a lot of people who do sex ritual, we understand that sex is creative energy because it creates a life. So if it can create a human life, a physical life, you don't think it doesn't create anything on an energetic level as well? Because there's a force, like sperm don't swim because it has a battery in it. Sperm swims because the sperm has its own intelligence, and there's a force behind that intelligence. And so you're using that same force and sexual energy. Even if I was to do, you know, have sexual intercourse with my partner, and we're thinking about something we want to manifest, why wouldn't I be able to create that with that same sexual energy? I created a whole baby with it. And a baby is nothing more than an energy in a human body. Like, we're all energy first. We not this body, we're energy first. So I can create something energetically that turns physical, and I can on a human level or a material level. And so again, this is what, and unfortunately, right? So even when I'm going through this training, I'm learning, like, this is what a lot of our like high priestesses knew about. Like when people would get married and they would consummate the marriage or have sex, there would be a high priestess or a shaman or something, you know, in the vicinity blessing the whole ceremony. Like, sex is very spiritual. And I believe that this is another reason why religion has done such a good job to suppress sexuality, because they know the power that it has. They know the power that it has. There, you all across the world, like, religion suppress female sexuality, not male sexuality, but female sexuality. There's a power in that. There's a power in that. So, you know.
No, I actually can, you know, concur with that. Like, you saying that, daggone, if you can create, like, it's a creative energy. It does. Because it creates life.
Right.
Life. So I can understand how sex can be viewed as a creative energy. Definitely. Exactly. So you're saying that when you're engaging in sex, if you think certain things, that you can use that as a force to bring these things into fruition.
Absolutely. Okay. And see, now this is, I don't want, well, people already think I'm weird and calling me Freaky Zeke in the dang comment panel, but I don't care. But they like, there she go, Freaky.
It makes sense to me too. So keep talking.
So this is what I'm saying as women. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, I use my own form of sex magic to materialize this house that I'm in. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I can sit up there and do rituals and pray or meditate on it, but I also know, like, okay, what else can I do to beef up, my connection with the universe or my energetic connection, whatever, to create this force to manifest something. If it's me pleasing myself or me having sex with my partner, I'm going to do this ritual and we're going to both manifest something, or think about manifesting something and bring it into existence. I actually, my last partner, he had a case, that he was going back and forth with through paperwork, very intelligent guy. And we did a sex ritual on the new moon, and he actually ended up getting more money in the settlement than was expected. And he broke me off, some of that extra money. And I was like, now that's how you manifest some stuff. Like, come on. This is why they break away families. They suppress our sexuality, and they don't teach us properly about what it is that we're supposed to be doing while engaging in sex. Like, it ain't always about busting a nut. As a matter of fact, men, every time y'all ejaculate, it's like losing a pint of blood. It weakens your life force. You're supposed to be able to ejaculate and recycle that energy that make you vibrate higher. So not only that, but your erection is longer. And when you would hear about these men back in the day, having all these multiple wives, you don't think that they knew how to make themselves last long enough to be able to please all 6 of these women? When you look at, certain statues or painting, and you see the guy, and these are, tantric pictures, the guy with the woman, inside, but he has, the other women around. He know how to please and last long for all those women because he knows how to ejaculate. He's vibrating higher. And it's not like, some civilizations, yeah, they were savage, but we use sex to manifest. And we just got to break out that mold, man. Like,
And I wanna just add on to what you said, Sister Riziki. I want to let my brothers in the chat room in on a secret. And I have my sons actually taking this right now. Brothers, if you can hear me loud and clear, please go to Amazon or Whole Foods or Trader Joe's and see if they have tiger nuts. Tiger nuts are good for increasing your testosterone levels and in turn, like your sperm count. So I actually had a friend, and I'm not going to say his name, but he's 39 years old, and he was telling me that in the morning he no longer has erections. And I said, well, if you don't have erections in the morning, you have an unhealthy penis right now.
That's right.
And he was thinking, well, I'm getting older. And I said, no, baby, that has nothing to do with you getting older. Right. You're 39, you are still a young guy. And I said, get tiger nuts.
Yeah.
Well, he's been taking tiger nuts and putting them in his shakes now. And he called me up, sis, a few weeks back. And he was like, I love you, baby. And I said, you love me? What's going on? He said, my dragon roared a little bit this morning.
I know, that's right.
And so he was happy. But brothers, please incorporate tiger nuts into your diet. They have tiger nuts and then tiger nut milk. So just like you can get almond milk, or walnut milk, get tiger nut milk or get just the tiger nuts. All right. And I see brother Sean P and brother Doug, they're like tiger nuts. Yes. Tiger nuts. Like, so instead of like peanuts or walnuts, it's called tiger nuts. I think the way it looks. So it's a type of nut. And the brothers in Ghana eat tiger nuts. And so he said, Sean said, I don't eat meat. My diet is good. Fruits and veggies, but you can also incorporate nuts into your diet, Sean. But I'm telling you, tiger nuts, the brothers in Ghana, and I'm speaking about in Accra and even in the kingdom south of Ghana, one of the kingdoms south of Ghana, those brothers eat tiger nuts. And so you have brothers over there, Riziki, who are 70 and 80 and still going strong.
That's right.
Still producing babies and still being able to, do some things. But they eat fresh fish, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and they eat tiger nuts.
And see, I'm so glad you said that, because the fact that you said they eat fresh this, fresh that, fresh this, that, it makes those tiger nuts, it makes it easier for those nuts to do their job, right?
Exactly.
Over here in the West, we're not living in as much of a natural environment. As a matter of fact, because you know, a lot of brothers who went to jail, what they put in the Kool-Aid or the food affected the man's ability to get erection. Even the stuff they're putting in the food and the sodas and all that stuff is affecting the health of a man's penis. So, you know, in the West, due to this environment, our men need a little bit more help. You know, so taking, like you said, the tiger nuts, yes, eating as best as you can. And see, even especially if in your relationship, women should learn how to give lingam massages, and women and men should learn how to give yoni massages, because it's a way to keep the nerves healthy and all that stuff. I want to share something else with you guys too, because we gonna learn a day. We gonna learn a day. Okay. So, and this is why I like teaching this stuff, because like this is what creates more intimacy and make people, you know, like be more comfortable with each other. So, okay, this is all of the nerves in the male genitalia. Okay, so this is his testes. Y'all can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is his penis, his testes, and you know, the anus there. And then with the female, okay, the clitoris, where you know the urethra, you know, her vaginal opening, and then her anus here. So for the female, let's start here. We deal with the pudendal nerve, and the pudendal nerve is what is responsible for the women's sensation. So if you can see my mouse, you know, this yellow thing, like this pudendal nerve runs all the way, you know, through the vagina, like on both sides. So this is what I was talking about when you beating the coochie up. You know what I mean? You kind of affecting this pudendal nerve to where like you're literally breaking her vagina. Her vagina is not able to experience, you know, full pleasure. And so then when we get to the men, he has all of these nerves here too. And his main function is the perineum. So this also aids in the sensation and the man's ability to have an erection. So when we learn about the lingam massage, we understand that we have to, as women, or we don't have to, but you know, I will want my man's penis to be as healthy as possible, honey, especially if I'm about to be with him for the rest of my life. You know, I'm going to make sure his nerves are on point. So lingam massage isn't like a masturbation session. It's literally, I understand I'm massaging these nerve endings in your, you know, private area, because it's helping the blood flow. It's helping, you know, your erection and preventing from certain erectile dysfunction. Not to mention, because a lot of our men, as boys, like you said earlier, Dr. Mayat, they go through like abuse, emasculation, you know, whatever it is that damages their growth as men. Just like this affects their mental, like their psychology and their emotions. Again, everything that's energetic manifests physically. So some men are walking around here with a not fully developed penis. Their penis didn't even grow to the full extension because of the psychological and emotional damage you had when you was growing up. You didn't even experience your full sense of puberty. So like you can deal with some men and like go to the base of their penis and still feel some penis beyond the skin. Their penis is not to their full length. Then you got some men, you could feel the base of their penis and try to go down further and like, okay, there's nothing else there. They develop their full penis. You will hold one man's erect penis and find it light, another man's erect penis and find it dense. These are keys and tools to be like, okay, he's not able to experience this fully because his penis needs more work, whatever. Even with the female, all of these nerves endings contribute to her ability to having these vaginal orgasms. So again, when women go through certain trauma and they're non-orgasmic, or, you know, they get older and they're not able to secrete or whatever the case, it's because these nerves are affected. Girl, get you a yoni massage. Teach your men, learn to massage your woman's yoni. These lips, these labias, you know, and even in genital reflexology, this is what we learn in Tantra. Like you're even able to massage the inside of a woman's vagina and, you know, help her become more sensitive to your touch, more connected, so she could be, you know, more blissful or orgasmic towards sex. And it's like when you are so involved with each other's mind, you know, your emotions and your anatomy, you know, this is sacred sex. Like you're literally healing each other. Like, and I know I talked about genital reflexology before, but just like you see all of these nerves in the vagina, all of these nerves in the penis, you know, when you deal with these things, these same nerves and endings have certain reflex points in other parts of the body. So sex is healing, sex is spiritual. I mean, like, you know, this is why it's the most creative and powerful thing on this planet. And we have to do a better job in educating ourselves and actually wanting to get better. So yeah, that's my little spill.
Girl, I see in the chat room, they said Riziki went in.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, sister just said it in the chat room. She said Riziki went in.
Y'all so funny.
Yeah, I mean, but I was looking at the diagram and I remember having a conversation with my sons about sex. And I was telling them, I said, did you know the clitoris has over 4,000 nerves? Like, do you really understand the muscle? You get what I'm saying? That you're dealing with, the organ that you're dealing with. It's not, I told them having sex with a woman is more than just sticking your penis in her and pumping. It's much more complex than that. You know what I mean? You know, and I think that a lot of women don't even know, you know, the power of their wombs. And I'm not saying it in a spooky way. You know, I'm not saying it in a spooky way. I'm just talking about knowing your womb, what feels good to you, what doesn't feel good, what's going to make you orgasm, you know, what they don't know, you know, and then you have some brothers who, you know, they thinking they putting it down and you look like, you know,
you be like,
you know, you looking at them like Riziki said, oh, maybe he had emotional trauma.
Right.
He's not fully developed.
Goodness, you know, like, yes, I'm just telling them. I told my sons and they were like, really? I said, yeah, I know you guys probably looked at the videos and you think that just sticking your penis in her and flipping her around in different positions is no. You have to learn her body. You have to learn about the womb, learn the body, what feels good. And I was telling them that, you know, different women climax different ways. You have some women who are vaginal climaxers. You have some women who are clitoral climaxers. You know, so whatever, you know, the woman, and they're both versions from my understanding. But I was telling them that, you know, you got to learn her body, what makes her tick, what makes her climax. Is this girl a clitoral comer or is she a vaginal comer? You know, you got to learn a woman's body. I said, the female anatomy is very complex. But one thing that your diagram did teach me today, I'm talking about the diagram on the male penis. I think of my clitoris and I'm saying, okay, I know how sensitive I am and the nerves that I have.
Right.
And when you look at a penis, you do see like the different veins inside of the penis.
That's
but
right.
Like when I saw that diagram, I was just like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that they have just as many nerves as we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have just as many nerves in the penis and throughout the testicles as we do. So this was an eye opener for me. That was a wonderful slide presentation. Riziki, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Y'all know I just, you know, I love what I do, but it's important to know. Go ahead, sis.
And you know what? I want to touch back on that sex magic part because a lot of people do look at it as spookism, you know, and that is what Aleister Crowley did. You know, they were in the freaking temples and he was tapping into gods on that sex magic.
Yeah, where you think he learned it from, though? Where do you think he learned it from?
That's what I'm saying. He was in the temples tapping into gods and stuff, doing sex magic.
That's what I'm saying.
And we look at it as a spookism. So I am definitely into that sex magic because I do manifestations and stuff like that with my partner, depending on who you with. You know, because you have to be very selective in who you're with.
You're right, sis.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a real force. That's a real true force.
Yeah, so we definitely gotta, you know, I that's why, like I said, I really love what I do, and the reason why, like us as women and men, you know, just becoming more in tune and comfortable with our sexuality, because the more in tune and comfortable, you know, your ability to manifest is even better. And so, like, for instance, one of the things in my classes that I teach is, you know, activating the penis and the G-spot. And we're not even going to talk about the other thing, because I know how the men in this chat room are. But, you know, I'm going to say it because it's real. And we also learn to activate the prostate. Again, just like when men go to the doctor to get their prostate massage, instead, we learn about activating the prostate, because the prostate has a lot to do with the man's erection, the health of a man's erection, the amount of sensation in his orgasm, and it also is a gland that helps the seminal, the fluid. But when we learn about, again, just being able to awaken a man's penis in a woman's vagina, so that, like you were saying earlier, Dr. Maya, there's some women who are clitoral, some women are vaginal, but technically we have the ability to be both, you know, due to like physical or mental trauma, you know, our G-spots, if you will, become like, you know, desensitized, you know, even sometimes our clitoris, especially for those who have sexual addictions like masturbation. That's another kind of sexual dysfunction that I talk about too, because it's not so much of the sensation down there. It's about that shot of dopamine or that chemical thing that, you know, you get in your brain when you go through these emotions and sometimes release. And I ain't gonna lie, I was one of those people. I was masturbating at least like 3-4 times a day. I had that issue. But since I started, you know, doing my work, I balanced myself out. And instead, now when I do it, I'm using it to manifest, especially, you know, if I don't have a partner. So, yeah, we got to just be open about these things. Our children are starting to masturbate too. So, like, we can't be shy about this stuff. It's not... They are a trip in this chat room, sis. I'm done, okay?
What happened in the chat room, sis? What's going on?
They keep calling me Freaky Zeke. I'm like, listen, this is just... Nah, but it's all love, though. But it's important for us to talk about it. No shame, no shame, no shame. It is what it is. Leave it to Freaky Zeke. Y'all are something else. Okay, so I think, was that all of our pinpoints for today? Let me see. We had... romance without finance, not talking non-offensively, is sex spiritual, sexual dysfunctions, and how they are caused. What y'all think? Do you think we covered everything, or anything else y'all want to touch on or ask, or questions in the chat?
Open it up to the chat room, sis. Open it up to the chat room.
Okay, so, all right. We love you. I love you too. Okay, so... there was one question. Yeah, let me see who else has questions in here. There was somebody that did say something about Anisha said, imagine if we as a whole had healthier sexual experiences, the world would be a much more productive place. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. So you know how we hear the term family planning, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and this taps in a little bit about sex magic too, and I learned this from an African elder, but it was said that when we have children, we're supposed to copulate in the daytime, not the nighttime. You know, there's even certain sexual positions when they were dealing with, you know, if you want to have a boy or a girl, but I don't get into all that. My point with this whole healthier, if the whole planet had healthier sexual experiences, we will also produce better children. Because the sperm that you have takes on the energy of your whole being. The egg that you have takes on the whole energy of your being. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, when you have two healthy people having healthy sex in a healthy energy environment, whatever, you produce, you know, better children. So I'll say that. All right.
I want to weigh in on that, sis. I walked away for a quick sec, but I want to weigh in on what you said. Okay. There's a documentary out by Michael Moore called Where to Invade Next. Okay. I've been a Michael Moore fan since he came out with his documentary in the movie theaters called Fahrenheit 9/11. But anyway, I just recently watched a documentary that he has. I want to say that it was on Netflix. I'm not sure, but it's called Where to Invade Next. And he went to European countries. He was traveling around in Europe just to compare and contrast our culture, American culture, with their culture. And when he went to Italy, that's one thing that the Italians, like that's their motto. Like they have early sex education classes. It's not like they wait until the children become teenagers to talk about sex. I mean, they start teaching their children about sex as early as elementary and middle school. Their motto is that adults who have healthy sex lives will have healthy relationships, healthy marriages, and will in turn produce, they'll be happy people and produce happy and healthy families. So that's actually a motto that the Italians, or a philosophy that the Italians live by, that people with happy, happy sex lives. I mean, think about this, Sister Riziki. And I know that brothers and sisters in the chat room can attest to what I'm getting ready to say. When you have great sex, you feel lighter on your feet. Like when you really release, you get what I'm saying, and it's really good sex. You have a pleasant attitude. You walk outside, you're happy. You're happy. You meet, you speak to people that you probably wouldn't speak to. I mean, really, I'm telling you, sex can make a difference. Healthy sex can make a difference, in your life. So I just wanted to piggyback on what you're saying, or to add to that. You have people in other countries, cultures, who definitely stand on that, they teach their children about sex, and they try to make sure that their children know about it, to have, form healthy relationships, healthy sexual relationships, with people. And I remember one segment on this video, it actually showed a teacher talking about, you got to pleasure your maid, and you got to do like the Italians, they stand on that, Riziki. The Italians stand on that. Yeah. So, that's all I wanted to add on to. I don't have anything left to say. Or are there any other questions in the chat room?
Let's see. Okay, so well, not really question. He said Reiki massages before and after sex. Okay, yeah, that definitely helps too. I mean, no, I don't see any other questions. I just, hope this was very educational. And
absolutely. Go ahead and shout the chat room out, Sister Riziki, before we go. Shout them out.
Absolutely. So if no one else has any questions, we want to give a big shout out to Atun Amin, Doug 757, of course, always in the building. What up, Anisha 2017 Bam. We got Lessa Darcy, I Herrick Kalfani. I don't know if it's Ini. I apologize. I don't know. We also have Calvin McDougall. I already said Lessa Darcy. And that's all I see in the chat room. Oh, Tracy, what's good? Aranda Branch. I probably butchered that. Renefer Saxamet. I'm sorry. I got to get better with these pronunciations.
No doubt. Anisha Green. I saw Sister Anisha Green.
Anisha Green.
Today. Yeah, she joined us today. So
Sarah Aha Peace in the building. The sis. And Mike Speed. And I think that's all in the chat room. Yeah.
I see someone 2017 Bam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just say Sean. Okay, my bad, Sean. Oh, Sean P, what's up in the building? Okay. He switched his alias now. Okay. Do you, Riziki, have table courses? Oh, yes, I do. As a matter of fact, let me share this with you guys right quick. If you don't mind. So, the table courses that I do, well, again, my Tantric course is called Awakening the Blueprint, which is energetic healing, breaking blockages through energetic healing and Kundalini Tantric healing. And so that does start in June, but everything that I went over is pretty much like what we learned throughout this 3-tier course. I'm offering tier 1. Hold on one second. You could also find this on my site, but I want to give it, put this on this other page. 1 second. Let me share the screen. All right. Y'all can see my screen, right?
Let me look real fast if I can see it.
Yeah, I could.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, so this is what I was talking about, family. I just want to break this down on this level because again, when people hear tantra, they think it's just all about like intercourse sex, but we understand sex is literally like a sacred energetic exchange. So everybody came into this planet with a particular blueprint, and when I say blueprint, it means that there's an authentic you, right? And then there's this you that you develop based on negative trauma that you experience. And when you build up these walls and these personalities based on these negative experiences, this is what actually break blockages. And so in Tantra, we use the cultivation of sexual energy to help break these blockages. And this helps in love, career, even business. And so this is like a life science that we do. So in this whole 3-tier program, again, we deal with knowing the body, the energy tower in the body, how the body generates energy so that we can energetically heal each other through sex. Like if me and a guy are like 3 feet within each other, I could feel his sexual energy. He could feel mine, even if you shoot it across the room. Like we project energy to each other all the time, but we don't know it. Like I said, it's like Dr. Mayat, you can walk into a room and light it up because people feeding off your energy, right? Like, damn, she walked in like, oh, and then
right.
And then you can walk into a room and mess up everybody's vibe because of the energy you project. So through tantric healing, this is what we learn to do, like consistently or on a consistent level. So we deal with that. We deal with the counterfeit personality again, which is what you developed throughout all these negative experiences. This is why people have sexual dysfunctions. They can't, get erect, or they can't have an orgasm, or like we talked about earlier, Dr. Mayat, they may turn to the same sex because of a negative sexual experience. We learn about the mechanics of energy movement. Again, you are an energy being in a body. So don't think that your limitations is just within your physical self. And then we go over the house of man and woman, which y'all seen me present on that before. We talk about hands-on tantric projection. So this is literally, men have been on my table and I can project to their perineal and they'll feel pulsating in their prostate. So I may not have to enter into their prostate through their anus. I could just project energy and they feel it pulsate. We do genital reflexology. Those are all the nerves that we went over. So I know now what areas on the penis to touch and massage to activate these reflex points on the penis. So my course explains all of this so you can know how to heal somebody when you put your woman or your man on the table. So if my man gets on the table, I know how to properly massage his lingam to promote lingam growth, lingam density, and his erection. I know what parts of the body to touch to heal, like his heart space if he's emotionally, distraught or whatever the case may be. So again, these are high sciences that a lot of our mystery schools dealt with. Okay, it wasn't we were great mathematicians and doctors and stuff like that, but man, in them temples that wasn't accessible to everybody. We was great magicians, we was great healers, we was great prophetess, all of that stuff. So this is what we do to learn how to activate ourselves to being these quote unquote gods or goddesses that we say we are every day. So that's that.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, you play the table video. I will not play the table video, but what y'all can do is go to my YouTube and look that up, because I think that's too hot for TV right now. So
I was like, I want to see the table. Let's see it.
Okay, 1 second. No, it's not bad, but y'all are going to see like how I'm able to like not touch the guy, but then he gets erection in a nutshell. So wait 1 second, let me go back. So this is like maybe 5 minutes. Let me go past the intro real quick. Okay, so 1 second. Let me know when y'all could see my screen. Okay, y'all can see my screen? Can y'all see it?
We can see.
Okay. Look at you, Cheryl. You so
Oh yeah, I can see. I done blew it up and everything, girl.
Nothing wrong with it. Let's
try to keep my
all
name.
right. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh wait. Okay. So good. That's breast projection. I'm gonna talk about that in a second.
All right. Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. So
Girl, I done already ordered my table online and got some of that. I done got my dress, the Riziki dress. That's what I'm doing.
Hey, look, Sister Riziki, keep that up. Like after I hit stop broadcast, I want to see the rest of it. I want to see the last minute and a half.
Damn,
The broadcast.
Penis pop locking. I'm done. She said she got the penis pop locking. I'm done.
that's what I'm saying. I didn't even have to touch him there. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on now. This is what we do. This is what we supposed to be doing to each other.
Daughter.
But the second, oh my God, wait. The second half of the video is him having me on the table, right? And so like, I remember when Dr. Wayat was saying earlier, like some women can orgasm through their clitoris or their G-spot. I actually experienced my first nipple orgasm. I didn't even know you could orgasm through your nipple. Now, if I was to pull up the nerve endings in the nipple, they have just as much nerve endings in, you know, in your vagina or your penis. And when y'all saw me on top of him, I was projecting with my breast. So we don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. We can project energy from our bodies, especially our breasts and our vaginas, women. You know, some women don't understand, like, why, while, you know, like there's some women who walk this planet and they always attract people who just want to have sex with them all the time. You know, that means you have a certain kind of broadcast that you're projecting from yourself, which includes mainly your vaginal area and your, you know what I mean, your breast area. So when I started getting into this work and I'm learning like, oh my God, all these blockages are being broken and I'm able to experience this, that, and third. And I had my first nipple orgasm, honey child. I was like, dang, my boobies must have been dead, girl, but my boobies woke up now. Shoot, I was like,
Wow.
yeah, it's deep. Like I said, so you just got to experience it. And that's why, like, I really don't advocate or promote something that I don't strongly believe in because I've experienced it. And when I talk about I've healed from like sexual trauma, you know, and like me having a miscarriage and an abortion and all that stuff, like I didn't know I was still holding all that stuff in. But there was times where I would be on that table and I just start crying and purging and realizing, wow, I still have not healed from that stuff. But Dr. Mayat, when we go offline, I'll show you the second half of the video. And
okay, well,
yeah.
We can go offline now.
I have plenty of time.
We can go offline now for the last minute, 30 seconds. But I just wanted to, I want the sisters to, well, Sister Raziki, you already promoted, you know, what you do in your brand. Sister Monica, can you promote your event, throw the flyer up, show people where they can find you, sis?
I'm on my phone, so I can't. Oh, let me
promote it. No.
I can do it on my own. So yeah, so on April 22nd, we have the Financially Focused Forum here in Columbia, South Carolina. It's from 10 to 3, and it's going to be held at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Columbia, South Carolina. And our guest speakers for the evening is Ivy Stokes, founder of My Econ, and he's going to be talking about we have the Smart Money Kit, debt elimination and investing, and how to use your own money to increase your net worth. Then we're going to have our very own sister, Cheryl Stevenson, and she's going to be talking about government contractings and grants. And then we also have Garfield Reed of the Dagger Squad, our brother. He's going to be talking about that Zebra Black Card, prepaid debit card, trade lines, and authorized users. Our MC is Jeffrey. He's a spoken word artist of the evening. And then you're also going to have myself, Sherry Sweets, who deals with, if you are a veteran and you need support, you need assistance, she's going to be there. With that, you have Cheryl Woodhouse, that's our line dance guru, and Dwayne Dreyer, who's also going to be there, who is also still military and an expert with investing your money. Food will be provided. We have Taste but Simple. They're going to be catering the food. It's only $6. So if you're in the Columbia area or you want to tune in live, we will live stream. It's the Financially Focused Forum, April 22nd, which is a Saturday from 10 to 3, Columbia, South Carolina. And basically, we want you guys to get this information so you can be on your way to financially independence. You don't have to subscribe or do business with anyone. However, if you do, you find something of interest, we'll be providing the tools necessary, such as a cash flow manager or other websites that Sharon Garfield will talk about that will help you sustain and maintain your financial position. So, hey, to everybody out there who's interested, you can inbox us or you can find it on Eventbrite. Just search Financially Focused Forum. We only have 16 slots remaining. It is free to the public, but we only have 6 spots remaining, and I think we only have about maybe 7 full page ads available at $15, and I think like 2 vendors. So the deadline is April the 9th for those ads or vendor spots. And once we get to 100 capacity, we will be shutting down the registration. So don't be passing notes at the registration table talking about tell Mo let me in. You're gonna be in the overflow lobby. Get it on live, okay? Peace, y'all. Thanks for watching.
I think I implore everybody to come out, and I implore everyone to come out to that event and get financially literate. You know, we wonder why, Sister Monica, why we haven't moved forward. I'm talking about economically as a people. We need to become financially literate first. And so I just want to shout you and the Dagger Squad out for the work that you're doing. I see that you guys are on Black News 102 every week, you and Sister Cheryl and the Dagger Squad, and teaching people how to open up their own businesses, teaching people how to apply for 501c3s, teaching people about investing in stocks of that nature. So I just want to salute you guys for the work that you're putting in and the knowledge that you are propagating. I just want to implore everyone, not even implore you, but encourage you to visit edanimeproductions.com. Check out Meltrek. Meltrek is an educational animated series that explores African history from an African perspective. And currently we have Meltrek 1 and 2 available. 2 will be shipping out in the next week or so. I'm actually waiting for it to get manufactured as we speak, but we currently have Meltrek episode 1 available. And the objective of Meltrek episode 1 is to teach children that the origins of people of African descent do not begin with slavery, but with greatness. So we're going to talk about the era of Ma'at. That's the pre-diaspora era in Africa. Because I always say, and not even I got this from Sister Marimbi Ani. She always said that in our history, you had the Ma'at, the Ma'afa, and the Sankofa. And so I think that right now we are in the Sankofa era in our history, where we're going back to get our history. We're going back to get our culture. And Meltrek is one of the many tools that you can get for your children to teach them our history. We also have Meltrek episode 2, which is currently being manufactured. And the objective of Meltrek episode 2 is to teach children about the Aboriginal cultures in the Americas, and to also highlight the African presence in the Americas prior to Columbus, because many of our children are taught by the school system that the first time we came over to the Americas was via the transatlantic slave trade. That's not true. There were already Africans here in America prior to Columbus. In fact, I have Columbus' diary on my bookshelf, and there was an African on board that even helped him get here. So we're going to talk about some of these things in Meltrek episode 2. Now, we're not making the claim that we are the Mayans, Olmecs, Aztecs, and Incas, but we are making the claim that there was an African presence here. And that's why Ivan Van Sertima said there was an African presence here. So we are going to be talking about the African presence in the America prior to the Columbus. Please support Ed Anime Productions by visiting edanimeproductions.com to purchase your copy of the Meltrek DVDs. We also have coloring books available, posters, backpack, and t-shirts available. But that's all I have, sisters. Sister Cheryl, do you want to plug some things?
Mine is going to be pretty quick so we can go offline. But
hurry up and log off. No, I'm sorry.
But what of course everybody knows I help people with businesses, getting them started, government contracting and franchising. If that's something you want to do, you could check out my website. My website is Stevenson, STEVENSON, businesssolutions.com. So check me out there. You can contact me through email, and I also have a phone number that you can contact me by. Thanks, guys.
All righty.
All right. So that's it, sisters. I really wanted to do, I know we're getting ready to close out. Next week, I just wanted to do a video about, or show about parents taking back their power. Maybe pose the question, who is raising your children? Is it you or the system? And I know a lot of parents would say, oh, it's me, because you provide food, clothing, and shelter. But I would argue them down that it's school, because your children spend the majority of their time in school. It's school, it's the peer group, it's the internet, it's the television, and it's the radio. And so I want to do a series. I think I'm going to do a series in Baltimore, just telling parents, encouraging parents to take back their power. I don't know what kind of title I'm going to give it, but I think we as parents need to take back our power. I feel like we have abdicated our power to the educational system and to the radio stations, to the internet, to social peer groups. I think as parents, we're not as hands-on as we used to be when we didn't have these options available to occupy, the time of our children. I feel like today we treat our children like materials. We treat them like, materials that we just feed and clothe and shelter. But we need to look at our children as minds that we are developing, minds that we need to mold and shape. And I think that right now as parents, we're not as involved as we need to be in conditioning the minds of our babies. So, I've really kind of been on that kick lately and wanted to speak to that next week. But we'll build offline on a topic that we could present next week. And this topic was actually motivated from a conversation that I had with one of my best friends about the music. On the radio, they were playing Future's new song that's encouraging children to pop Percocets and Molly's. There's another song on the radio. I heard it this morning, the guy I Spy or whatever his name is, but it has like this catchy child-friendly beat, and it's targeting children. But in the song, this guy's talking about getting high. And so, my friend, she called the radio station because we were prepared to go down there and rally in front of the radio station. So she called down there and she said, look, if you guys don't bleep out, some of the phrases in some of the derogatory and destructive phrases in these songs, we're going to come down that radio station and we're going to shut it down as parents. And so anyway, 92Q agreed that they would bleep it out, and they did. But, as parents, we need to start exercising our power and taking our power back and being more involved in conditioning the minds of our children. And so I definitely want to speak to that. We don't have to do it next week. We could do it the week after. But I definitely think that needs to be a conversation. Who is raising your children? Because as parents, I know you.
I agree. That's a good topic, sis.
Yeah, I know as parents, you want to say that you're raising your children, but, I would argue against that, hands down. And I know I will win that argument too. I break down how you spend your time and how your children spend their time. So anyway, with that being said, family, peace and power. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.